The Commissioners Court of Brazos County will meet regular session on September the 5th, 2023 at 10 a.m. The Commissioners Courtroom, the County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. First item on the agenda is invocation and pledge of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flag, and I'll lead those. Father, I want to thank you for your love and your mercy. I want to thank you, Father, that we live in a country that we have the freedoms and the Constitution that we have to assure us of those freedoms. Father, I want to pray for those over in Hawaii that suffered a devastating loss, and for those that had lost their loved ones over there. I pray, Father, for those over in Walker County that have had that big fire going, and I ask, Father, that you would send us rain because we're in need of it. I ask that you will keep our responders, first responders safe, and give us wisdom and knowledge this morning as we do the county business. I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Second item on the agenda is call for citizen input and/or concerns. And I don't think anybody filled out anything. We will consider and take action on agenda items 3 through 21. Number 3 is designation of the time, the day, time, and location of Commissioners Court to convene a regular session each week during FY 2024.
Proposed 10 o'clock on Tuesday mornings. Make a motion to that effect.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to set the date as Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries.
Of course, that's subject to modification based on lack
Always.
of
We
a
can-
quorum and those types of
That's
things.
just the regular session, yes.
Thank you, sir.
4 is approval of the proposed county holidays for 2024 calendar year.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 5 is approval of request from Sheriff's Office to accept donation through TACRMP website FY22 in the amount of $3,625.42, but received in FY23.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 6 is approval of request from Constable Precinct 3 to apply for law enforcement safety and equipment grant.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is approval of Brazos County Clerk's Records Management and Archival Plan to collect $10 fee for non-court filings.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8 is approval of amendment number 1 to raise the daily rate from $100 to $150 for contract 23-113 short-term detention of juvenile offenders with Henderson County.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is approval of amendment number 1 to increase the daily rates from $100 to $150 contract 23-142 short-term detention with Coryell County.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is approval of agreement 23-163 for graduate training in MA clinical psychology field training with Sam Houston State University.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is approval of contract 23-164 for secure short-term detention of juvenile offenders with Syntex Regional Juvenile Services.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 12 is award of RFP number CIP 23542 Road and Bridge Equipment Shed. Recommended award is Aggieland Construction.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is discuss and propose a 2023 tax rate.
Judge, I'd like to propose a .383986 M&O rate and a .040714 INS rate for a total tax rate of .424700. That's a 50-cent tax reduction.
Do I-
Wait a minute,
Second.
you made a
Second.
statement that that's a tax reduction?
Tax rate reduction.
Okay. I thought I
Not-
heard
not
you
a
say
tax
tax
reduction.
reduction.
No, tax rate
Tax rate.
reduction.
So you're proposing a tax increase.
Depends on appraisal value. But it's a
Well-
tax rate reduction.
Okay, but that is a actual tax increase of 14.49%. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're proposing a tax rate, even though we have talked about the things that we have talked about prior to this, and can you justify what your reasoning is behind wanting to increase taxes on property owners in Brazos County in light of our prior discussions, Commissioner?
I think we have to have a forward-looking approach to county government. We are a rapidly growing county. We need to be prepared for whatever comes, and we need to take care of our people, and we need to be forward-looking in our outlook.
After generating the types of surpluses that we have, is there a reason to ask people for more money than we spend?
Projections, though, when you look at it, and, projections are just what they are. They're projections, and nobody really knows what the future's going to look like, but projections are that that fund balance will decrease over the next few years. And we're eating into it. In fact, I don't remember what the number is, but we're eating into the fund balance to balance the budget this year. No, 4 million? 44 million.
Yeah,
what-
that is coming out of fund balance
It
that we
is, that's
already
exactly what I
Right.
said. We're using fund balance to balance the budget. And that's what we'll continue to do, is use fund balance, because the tax rate, even this tax rate, is not going to bring in enough money to fund that budget. It will require using fund balance to balance it. And I will tell you, I know
disagree
that
with that.
right now we have, appraisal district said 20% is what, overall, is what things went up. And if things keep going at 20% like that every year, then that's one way. But I can tell you, I was around when the property value in Brazos County dropped, when nobody thought it would drop. Everybody was saying, back in the late 70s, early 80s, when everybody said, buy property because it'll never go down, and the property values went down, and it was because of a recession that hit. Everybody kind of expected that we would have hit a recession by now, and it hasn't happened. The tax rate went down over 6 cents last year, and if you look at the at all the taxing entities, we are certainly the lowest of all of them, and we are more dependent on property tax than anybody of everybody. And if the constitutional amendment passes in November, then people are going to get a significant tax savings again. And that's really where I felt like the legislature needed to step up, and I'm glad they did. And they stepped up last time, and it caused our school taxes to drop 19, 20 cents, something like that. So we've seen some significant savings from where it really needed, where the real problem was with schools. and the state not funding schools at an adequate rate other than property tax. And if the constitutional amendment passes, we'll see even more significant savings. As you should know, about 70% of a county's budget comes from property tax.
As I should know, I
Yep.
do know.
Okay, well, good, then I'm glad to hear that. So I've seen times in past where property values went down instead of up. I don't know what they're going to do. It's obviously right now they are going up, and if people keep moving to Texas and buying whatever's there for whatever price, then maybe it'll keep, the market value will just keep climbing. I don't know. But I've seen it when people thought it wasn't, that it would continue to rise, and it didn't. So, and having dropping the over 6 cents last year, and then keeping it or dropping a little bit this year, I think is a fiscally responsible way to handle it.
Judge, you made these same predictions last year. You made a prediction in a public meeting that we would be bankrupt within 2 years.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, that was
if you-
what was circulated then.
Well, I can't help what was
In print.
circulated.
Okay.
Yeah, probably some of your friends may have said that.
Not my
No,
friends, not my
well,
friends.
I don't know, whatever.
My friends all understood where
No.
I stood and why I
So
stood there,
if
and
you
all
look
the
at
numbers
projections-
that we
if you look
presented
at
came
projections, then
from.
you'll see that over a period of time, not 1 year, not 2 years, but over a period of time, it will impact county budget, and people expect things. And frankly, I don't know where we'll end up with on a tax rate. I mean, I believe that we'll have enough people show up to at least vote on it this year, I believe, and unlike it was last year. But if it does and we vote on it, then I think it's whatever it's going to be, we'll accept and we'll live with it.
I call the question.
Okay.
You want to shut me
Question?
off?
Well, you
Pertinent
spent
facts.
most of
question's
the
been
workshop
called.
telling us about it.
Pertinent facts is that, if you take a look at this
Question's been
sheet,
called.
there's
You wanna
2.15,
repeat
that
your-
$2.65
Yes.
million is not
Okay.
even on this sheet.
I didn't write it down, so
Okay, the motion is
This is a travesty.
for a .383986 M&O rate and a .040714 INS rate for a total tax rate of .424700.
so .424700.
Yes, this is
Okay.
total
That-
tax rate.
You moved to propose the 2023 tax rate to .424700 per $100
Yes,
valuation.
that's a 50-cent tax rate reduction.
Right.
There you go. At least you
Let's
said it
have a
correctly
show of
that time.
hands. All in favor, raise your right hand.
It hasn't been seconded? I
Yep,
second.
yeah, it was
She
seconded
seconded
by Wanda.
Second.
Yeah. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Number 3 is to establish the date and time for
Can I hold that? But again, I'm sorry, I think somebody left their hand up too long.
I did.
It looked like two voted against.
It's
Yeah.
4-1.
Okay, but
Let's
yeah.
let's
So
please,
you want to do it again?
yeah, let's please,
All
yeah,
in
because
favor?
this has to be
All in
published.
favor?
This has to be published in the paper, correct?
So, you got it?
Okay,
Okay.
so all in favor was the
4 to 1.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The next step is to establish the date and time for a public hearing for the proposed budget and tax rate. And I'll move that to establish the date and time for the public hearing on FY 2024 proposed budget on Tuesday, September the 19th, 2023 at 9 a.m., followed by the tax increase at 9:15 in the Commissioners Courtroom, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106, Bryan, Texas.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and we may ought to raise our hands on that one too.
Oh, no, I'm all for letting
Okay,
people
raise your
talk
right
about
hand. If
this.
you're for it, raise your right hand. Okay, that's good. Motion carries. That was 13. Number 14 is consider and vote on the FY 2024 proposed salaries and allowances for elected officials and precinct officials.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 15 is tax refund application for the following.
Move approval A and B.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is Commissioners Court minutes for the following dates.
Move approval A through J.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve A through J. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is budget amendments, FY 22-23 budget amendments 46.01 through 46.08.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made.
Judge, I have one question. I believe it's on amendment number 6, which is the voting machines. Is it 46.006? I don't have that up in front of me right now. Yeah, I think it was 41.006. It was
4606.
46.006.
0.06, yeah.
And that was the one on, hang on, let me get to it. Voting machines?
It's budget amendment 46.08.
H. Okay, thank you. My apologies. Since there's some question as to whether or not we need that or not, if we amend the budget, but we figure out we don't want to do this because we haven't taken action yet to do this, do we just amend it back later on if that doesn't?
If the equipment's not ordered by today, by this approval of this budget amendment, then it's not guaranteed to come in by the end of the year, and it's not budgeted for next year.
Correct. Okay. But we've got a, okay, we're going to talk about that.
Yes, we're going to talk about it in executive session, as well as, this is just a fourth of it. If it comes back that we need to order more, we can at a later date. We wanted to make sure we're at good faith, try to get the equipment purchased, because we're not the only county that's in this situation.
Yeah.
And so, since it's on hand at the moment and not back ordered, we're good.
Yeah. It's like,
So-
yeah, there's like 90 counties that are affected, including us, if I recall. Thank you.
Did we vote on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 18 is personnel change of status.
Move approval A and B.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is payment of claims. Claim to be paid by Brazos County. Claim number 8124388 through claim number 8124515 and claim number 9008373 through claim number 9008451.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. We will skip down to number 22 is the acknowledgement of the Brazos County Emergency Services District, DSD, number 2 independent auditor's report and financial statements for year ended September 30, 2022. Number 23 is the acknowledgement of the 21-22 budget emergency services district, ESD, number 4 financial audit. 24 is acknowledgement of the Brazos Central Appraisal District Independent Auditor's Report and financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2022. 25 is an acknowledgement of the FY 22-23 budget to actuals by fund as of August 30, 2023, and an acknowledgement of the FY 2022-23 contingency budget to actuals as of August 30, 2023. 26 is Juvenile Director's Report on Detention Population. Linda.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We have 42 juveniles in detention. We have 33 males, 9 females, and we have 20 on electronic monitor.
Thank you, Linda. 27 is Sheriff's Report on Inmate Population. Sheriff.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. 723 today, 614 men, 109 women, and we have 46 on electronic monitoring.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
28 is announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics. The fiscal year 2024 proposed budget will be filed in the county clerk's office and posted on the county website quickly after this, at some point after this meeting. Anything else?
I want to congratulate the City of College Station Visitor Center just opened up. It's the old fire station in front of the new City Hall. They made use of that old building and turned it into meeting spaces as well as offices for marketing and their Visit Aggieland staff. They had the ribbon cutting on Saturday at 11, and it was well attended. The facility is amazing. I think it'll bring a lot of people to the area, which benefits the entire area. And just a big congratulations to the city for having the site to repurpose that building and build such a epic facility for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and I echo that, and I want to tell you too that they have decided to continue for visiting SEC. When we have home SEC games this year, they'll continue to have their hospitality barbecue and out there at that same location. So if you want to express to people in our community how glad you are that they come here and spend money here and do those types of things, please go to those tailgates and make people feel welcome in Aggieland. Thanks.
Okay, anything else? Next item is 29, is calls for citizens' input and/or concerns, and Charles.
If I may, Judge, Commissioners, we've had a request for an update on the expenditures for the roofs and the damage for that. Thank you to Ms. Nina in budget, helped me get this information. The revenue to date from TAC, from insurance claims, was a little over $5.3 million. Our expenditures to date has been a little over $2 million, and we have open purchase orders for a little over $3.5 million. So we will either refile, or we have paid so far out of general funds about $228,000. So Ms. Leslie continues to work that. We continue to go through those roofs as quick as we possibly can. We've done some of the harder stuff. We've got some other roofs with it, like at the courthouse, that we're trying to go through that pose a little bit of a feat to not interrupt operations there. But we're working through it.
Thank you, Charles.
Judge, relative to the proposed budget that would be out, I just had one question. The proposed tax rate that was voted upon, according to the budget worksheet I've got here, will generate a little over $2.6 million more revenue than what is required to fund this budget. Where should that $2.6 million that's not currently in the budget be reflected in the budget?
That's not for discussion at this point. There you go.
Okay, it will show up in the proposed budget somewhere, though, I guess.
Sure.
Judge, Commissioners, my name is Russ Ford. I'm just a citizen here. I was wondering if I could make a general statement about the tax rate. If you'd prefer, I wouldn't. I know you've had a tax hearing this morning, had a doctor's appointment, so I'm sorry I didn't get to make the tax hearing. Would you allow me to just make a general statement? You stop me if I get out of line, or Bruce will stop me.
This is,
Go ahead and make.
Judge, Commissioners, what I'd like to do is to remind you that last year we had a citizen come up and speak to us and told a wonderful story about his mother at the grocery store. And as you go through the budget process this year, I'd hope that you could remember that good advice, that if we're striving towards a no new revenue rate, you've got to do the work as you form the budget, or else that doesn't work. And I was just going to add one thing, is that there was a lot of question last year on whether the no new revenue rate would work for us or what effect that it would have long term. I think it has proved out that the no new revenue rate, at least for last year, worked, that we've got a $21 million surplus, even though we didn't raise taxes. If that number's not correct, I certainly would want to be corrected on that. But there is a surplus, obviously. Anyway, what I was just asking, please be prudent as you go through that budget process. Do your best to get us to get us the lowest tax rate that the county can work through. So,
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
you, thank you. We will move back up and convene an executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0725 to deliberate business and financial issues related to a contract being negotiated, and there's actually 3 contracts, A, B, and C. And then the last one would be Texas Government Code 501.087 for deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. And certainly we need to court Cheryl and, we got to vote on the 3.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah.
So, as you all know, I have filed separate letters for each of the 3 contracts being negotiated. And in my opinion, that your ability to negotiate will be adversely affected if you have to do so in open court. And those letters have been filed with the court, and as you all know, you need to be unanimous in taking those to executive session.
And will we be voting on all 3 of those contracts with this one, unless there's an issue with voting on, somebody wants to oppose one of them, then we'll vote on all 3 at one time. And all in favor of those 3 contracts, raise your right hand.
Wait a minute, wait a
Need
minute.
a motion.
Wait.
Make the motion, so moved, to go into executive session.
Yeah.
Is this,
And
okay, you
to-
said to vote on those contracts.
No,
No.
to vote, to
vote,
discuss
go
them
in-
into,
go into
To vote to go
executive
to, okay, just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we were
We're not-
clear on the record, that we were
voting to go into
to
executive
into-
session to discuss contracts.
Okay. So I got a motion.
Second.
Second, okay. Motion made, and seconded to approve going into executive session about 3 different contracts. All in favor, raise your right hand. And there's none opposed, so we got a unanimous vote on that. Then the last one, of course, is the Texas Government Code for deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. And we're going to need the Commissioners Court attorneys.
You want to do the economic development one
Yeah, we'll do the
first?
economic development first. So we'll need Kimberly, do I see? Yeah, Susan and Chuck, they're both back there, so we'll do that one first.
All right. And then, Judge, for the contracts on the first one, we would need the auditor's office, the purchaser, and the elections administration's 2 personnel.
Time,
Okay.
announce the time.
And the time is 10:35. You ready? Okay, we're coming out of executive session. It's 12:05. There's no action to be taken, so the next item is to adjourn. Thank y'all.